The backfield runs through the contact and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Revenge on this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon comes in. Welcome to 2025. Not today. This one the other way. Indians, they're going back. That's the drag. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money.
Takes his shot for Derby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
One minute, 1 minute. What is up, my Pitchfork Lunch Peeps? Happy Spicy Taco Tuesday as we are here and we are rocking it. But welcome into Spicy Taco Tuesdays edition of Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratonito at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. As you guys know, love everything. Check out the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, you can check out my IG. Yes, I know it's crazy. I may have reminded you of that once or twice, but you just go to michael.caratonudo.5. Yes, add a dot between my first and last name, and then a .5 at the end. And guess what? Bam. There you go. You can check it out live on the wonderful, phenomenal IG. Also, last but not least, as you know, yes, real quick reminder, because we got to get to today, man. It is spicy. Kind of a bummer, but it is spicy. Got a lot of news for you here on a Pitchfork Lunch, and we'll hear from the man who broke the news. Well, confirmed the broken news this morning, and it is a bummer. But yes, the YouTube channel, guys, go to YouTube, watch live. You know how to go to YouTube, but watch the show live, and also subscribe to the channel. You see my name, Michael Caratonito, but the page is at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005. At MVC005 on YouTube, guys, and subscribe. As, again, you have missed a plethora of phenomenal con reviews, a ton, as you have anything from, everything, coaches, players, voices, insiders, alum, phenomenal alum. It is just, again, absolutely amazing. And again, more and more to come. Again, Thursday we will be out at swimming. You will not want to miss that. Coach Bame again, totally again, so stoked after the Big 12 West Championship victory on both sides, obviously men's and women's. Forks up to that. Coach Bame, again, another alum coach. Yes, so we will be out of swimming on Thursday, but again, any sound practices, everything like you're going to hear from, again, Coach Powers very shortly, just spoke a little bit ago, and we caught up with him. So again, tough day here in Sun Devil Nation and hockey, but you'll hear why. But my point is, I digress. Go to YouTube. You see my name, Michael Caratonito, but search the pages at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005, at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe, because, again, you have missed a ton. Yes, you have missed a ton. And yeah, so go to YouTube and do it. Again, like I said, coaches, players, voices, insiders, alum, friends of the program. It is just, again, analysts, people that, former coaches, everything. So go to YouTube and subscribe. You got a lot to catch up on. And like I would say, I'm glad you're here. That is awesome. Forks up, phenomenal. But shame on you for not watching, not being around for season 1, which you can binge watch on the good old YouTube, and then binge watch season 2. Keep watching season 3. So then again, when we have a lot of these con reviews, as you'll see, friends of the program, I can ask them the same questions. What fun would that be? And then they wouldn't want to do the show. So nonetheless, but yeah, so binge watch season 1, little breather, binge watch season 2, get through it, or and then keep watching season 3. And hey, it's rocking. So I got women's hoops 17-2, 4-2 in conference play after the big win at Kansas. They head back. They play big in the Big 12, but they go all the way across the map. Yes, they do. They go from the left coast to the right coast, as we say. But yes, they have West Virginia and Cincinnati, 2 games. Again, tough, but 2 game. Well, again, Cincinnati hasn't. They've. We'll get to it, but they head there. So that in and of itself is awesome. That in and of itself is awesome, but yeah. So again, Cincinnati, but West Virginia. It'll be a tough game. but these are two games you can definitely win. And now that you're 17-2 overall, I mean, Jeff Metcalf into the program. He's covered obviously Sun Devil sports for years, women's basketball and the Olympic sports, doing it for the Wilner Report now. But I mean, he was saying, just imagine if they just go 500 the rest of the way, there's no way they're not a tournament team. And again, that's not. We know it's not coach's goal. We heard from assistant head coach, associate head coach Jason Glover last week. Again, if you missed that, I'm telling you, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get caught up on it. But yeah, Jason Glover, he was kind enough to give me a few minutes. But yeah, I mean, it's But again, they could go 500 and they wouldn't be it wouldn't be part of the whatever. They would make the tournament most definitely. So that in and of itself is awesome. These are two games. Again, you could be 19-2 after this, 6-2 in conference play, separating yourself, keeping up with the upper echelon of the conference. So that is huge. Men's hoops, by the way, as you guys know, they have a game tomorrow at DFA. They play tomorrow. Do the men. And yes, they are taking on West Virginia and Cincinnati. So on Wednesday and Saturday. So yeah, tomorrow, 7 p.m. DFA. And then Saturday, that's even a later start, 8 p.m. on Saturday. And they have Cincinnati Saturday. So again, huge games, and these are games that again gonna be challenging, but you can win. And then they go to UCF. So they have three games that they can win: West Virginia, Cincinnati, UCF. And then the last day of the month of January, that team from down south, yes, who is the number one team in the land still. Wait. I want to make sure. I'm pretty sure. Yep, Arizona got every single one of the number one votes as they stay undefeated. And the coaches poll they finally did too. Although Michigan is above UConn, which to me is a joke. Because after their loss, and then they win two, and then they go back. Yeah. Anyway, AP in basketball. I guess those voters got it right because they're not the ones that do football. And as much as it pains me, pitchfork lunchers, to say they got it right. Yes, the team down south is number one. They got all 61 votes. UConn is number two at 18-1. The Cats are 18-0. UConn 18-1. Michigan 16-1. They got Purdue at 17-1. Duke at 17-1-5, and then Houston is up one spot after sweeping their week last week. We saw again on Sunday that wow, that again 30-point victory they had against the Devils, 28-point victory. But I mean, so yes, Houston is number 6, Nebraska 7, Gonzaga 8, Iowa State another Big 12. They dropped a game, so they are now 16-2. And they dropped 7 spots there to number 9, and then Michigan State rounds out the top 10. And then Big 12-wise, you have Texas Tech at 12, BYU at 13, Kansas at 19, and yeah, that is that. UCF, well, they received 14 votes, so they're hanging around the top 25. But yeah, so that's. So you got 6 in the top 25. 1, 6, 9, 12, 13, and 19. So, yeah, Big 12 loaded. Vanderbilt, the SEC is so great. Oh, they have Vanderbilt at 15, Florida at 16, and who U of A, we know what they did to them. And U of A whooped Florida, whooped Alabama. They didn't play Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt actually is 15, Florida 16, Alabama 17, Arkansas 20, Georgia 21. But nonetheless, Big 12 this year, that conference. I mean, you have 18-0, 17-1, so that's 35-1, and 51-3. 51-3, and then 67-5 between BYU, Iowa State, Houston, and Arizona. And then if you add Texas Tech, it's under 14-4. Yeah, it's insane. But that's what the men's hoops have coming up. So, look, I'm going to step aside. We got a lot to get to. We're going to hear from Coach Powers next. Again, breaking news. So tough. This player that's out for the season. But we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll go straight to Coach Powers and what he had to say today in his presser. So we'll step aside, and more Pitchfork Lunch coming right up. Don't go anywhere. All right, back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on X, artist familiar known as Twitter, my IG, Michael.Caratino.5, and the wonderful, phenomenal YouTube. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005, at MVC005 on YouTube. You check out the show live there on all those Monday through Friday, 12 to 1 p.m. All right, like I said, breaking news. It is a bummer. He was banged up. We talked about it last week. Colin Potter out for the season. Coach Powers, in his availability today, he will tell you why and talk about, again, what they have coming up against North Dakota and just what they have to overcome as a team now, because also with Dowd being out, Colin Potter now out, yeah, that first line is going to look a little different. Might we get Benishimic back this week? Well, let's hear from Coach Powers.
Confirm that report from this morning that Potter's out for the year.
Yeah, he's out for the year, unfortunately. Requires surgery, his injury, and he's going to get that Thursday of this week. Probably looking at a 3 to 4 month recovery process. So it's unfortunate. Obviously, huge loss for us. And heart goes out to the kid because he was just playing so well. But we have to and will always do what is best for our players' long-term success and future. And we collectively felt like this was the best course of action for him and his future. And he will make a full recovery. It's not anything that's threatening to where he won't be on the ice flying around when he's healthy. So, we're really, really bummed for him. But I think the other piece of it is we still really like what we have, and we like how we're playing, and it's a great opportunity for guys to step up, and they will.
When you say obviously probably got multiple opinions, but was there an option of maybe just rehab and no surgery?
There was an option of that, but I think, when you take everything into consideration and the ability to get it fixed and ensure long term there's not going to be any sort of issue, that's what we wanted him to do, and he wanted to do.
What does that mean for the rest of your forward group this weekend? Are you getting anybody?
Yeah, we still like what we have down the middle. It's just a great opportunity for guys like Smoley and McGurn, and who's now back to 100%, and Logan Morrell and Braxton Whitehead to step up, and guys to play with, guys like Lush and Shim. It's a great opportunity, and they're completely capable. If it's Smoley, he's a kid that had 30 points in the NCHC as a sophomore. He can do it. He had more points last year than Potsy did. So we're still confident. We believe in whoever it's going to be to take over. Is he a tough guy to replace? Of course he is, right? He's dynamic, and he pushes the pace and drives the play better than almost anybody in the country. So it's going to be different, but we still believe that we have everything we need to have success.
What's Shimmick's timetable?
It's good. We anticipate very likely him being available. It probably won't be decided until a little later in the week to make sure, but we don't anticipate him missing any more time, and if he does, it would probably only be this weekend. But we're very hopeful that he'll be in the lineup on Friday.
With all these injuries to the team, what have you seen from the rest of your forwards and their ability to step up?
Look at since really Duluth, Dowder went out, Smolin went out, and we've had McGurn out, Beck out. It's Keener, Waldron, now Potsy. Shim was out in the Miami win, so it's been a tough month and a half, from an injury standpoint. But from a results standpoint, it's been our best month and a half. So it speaks to the depth that we have. It speaks to the belief that we have in every guy in that room to step up in moments when we're shorthanded, and they've done it. And there's no reason why that should change or will change moving forward. That's not the mindset. We're not going to suck our thumb and feel sorry for ourselves. We're gonna keep pushing forward and try to make a push here with an unbelievable team and opportunity coming in this weekend. And that's exactly what the focus is and what the mindset is.
With guys having to have stepped up, like you said, not that as a coach you've always had the freedom to, throughout past seasons you've mixed up lines and having depth helps that, but what have you seen from this group chemistry-wise that mixing up the lines, they won't really skip a beat?
I don't know. I think it just speaks volumes to the leadership we have, and with the job the captains have done, gelling the guys. Most importantly, as a group, away from the rink. So it doesn't really matter. You can ask Shim and Lush, like who do you want to play with, and they'd be like, we don't care. I could put Whitehead with them. I could put Morrell. I could put Small, and I could put McGurn. They don't care. they're comfortable with any of them. They believe in any of them, and that's important, you know. So will their line look different? Yes, but will it still be incredibly effective? Absolutely. Whoever gets to play with them is obviously, you know, is going to treat it like they won the lottery. It's two of the top, you know, 7-8 scorers in the country.
Do you have any idea who you'll put up to play with them?
I don't know yet. You know, we're going to try some things in practice this week, but no, I don't know quite yet.
How was? Sorry, kind of a similar thing that you were going through at the beginning of last season. What's the biggest coaching takeaway you had from that you can kind of carry into this?
From last season?
Yeah.
Oh, the injury. Yeah, I mean, I think the difference was last season. You know, when we started the year decimated. I mean, just decimated, and it was early. It was too early to have that identity formed and mindset where, you know, guys needed to step up because really roles weren't totally established. Where this season, you know, happened to us, you know, in mid-December through a gauntlet stretch of their schedule, and we've gotten through it. You know, and so, you know, the parallels really aren't that similar. But you know, that's why moving forward, we have so much confidence because we've already been through it. You know, and it hasn't been Potsy, but and he's a big reason why we got through it. But it's been other guys, and like I said, you know, it's such a great opportunity for guys to step up, and I'm excited for them, and I know they will.
How has that Morel line in particular stepped up in the stretch?
Their identity line. They're big, they're hard, they're tough, they forecheck, they're heavy on pucks. You know, they're responsible defensively, they're good on the wall. They're our identity line. You know, we go as they go. You know, and internally, that's what we say. Like, they're your identity line. The other line has been a great scoring line, you know, or dynamic and unbelievable what they do. But, you know, we generally win our games when that line is doing what they do best.
As you head into the final weekend of this January home stretch, what have you learned most about your team?
Yeah, they're just resilient, and I think when we're playing loose and we have belief and we're having fun and they're playing for each other, we've already proven we can beat anybody in the country. These guys are really good. We know how good they are. We've already played them. We've also already beaten them. So we're excited for them to come into our building, and they're coming off a loss. They're going to be really good. They're going to be dialed. They're going to be hard. And as far as I know, they're pretty much, you know, fully healthy, minus a kid that they've had out for the most of the year. So they're going to be a handful, you know. But for us, you know, we moved up this weekend in the MPI, which was great without even playing. The margin between really 24 and 15 is so minuscule right now, that with a successful weekend, we're really in a position where we can make hay here at home, you know, and that's the focus. It's not, there's no moral victories because we got guys out. You know, two of the top players in our league, and Colin Potter and Jack Beck, are out for the year, and we can make that the story, or we can make how we respond to that the story.
How have you learned from last season when you missed the tournament by that much? And how have you brought that to the team, and how have the veterans brought that?
We drew on that in the margin, the razor thin margin at the start of the year, all preseason, and why every game matters, every touch matters, every shift matters, and what would have happened if, you know, we didn't give up a goal in the last minute at Air Force, So we've already done that. You know, this is a much different team than last year. It's way younger, it's way more inexperienced, you know, at every position. And so with this group, once it became about this group and really what this group had to do and the identity that this group needed to play with to have success, things have changed for us in a really good way. And it took a little longer than we had hoped this season, but we're there. We're within striking distance. We don't have a fighting chance. We have a legitimate chance to still do what we wanted to do when we set out to start the year, and to do it with this young group. You know, a lot of these guys will be back next year. It's awesome. You know, it's just something we can springboard off of.
One more question.
How rare is it in college hockey to have two of your top 6 forwards out for an entire season and then still try to make a playoff push playing?
Yeah, I mean, it's rare, but I think it speaks to our depth and belief, and You know, I mean, boy, it seems like a year ago we had, you know, Jack back in, you know, and he only got to play 10 games. So we're just thrilled that you know he's going to be back next year, and but those are two dynamic, really high end players that would be difference makers for anybody in the country. So yeah, and I think it just again our player leadership, you know, the job that Smoley and Cruz and Shim and Bose and you know and McGurn have done keeping this group together. You know, all the credit goes to them, and they're an unbelievable group of kids that have provided a ton of leadership, and that's why the belief's there.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank
Well, here you go. You heard him. No Colin Potter. Obviously, Dowd also out. Dowd also out as well. Which, like, he just like this. Like, you heard the question. 2 of the top 6. Or he answered right there. 2 of the top 6 forwards on his team out. But I mean, and it's just. But it's respond, and we'll actually hear from Kyle Smolin and Ben Cavon. We'll hear from them tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Wednesday. Tomorrow or Friday. Just depends. Tomorrow or Friday. Actually, yeah, we'll probably go with Friday. We'll hear from them Friday. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, that is just you heard it right there from Coach Powers. It's one of those things where he, like I said, I mean, you talk about it and yeah, you deal with it. And what did Coach Hurley just say? You know, oh yeah, because you were banged up last year. Somebody came and said, okay, you won't have any injuries this year, and you know, it's not the reality. And I mean, it just sucks. But you know, like he said, I mean, you know, Carmelo Crandall was out there with on the first line against Miami of Ohio with before Colin Potter went down, but with Cruz Lucius and Colin Potter. But now it's going to be with Bennett Shimmick and Cruz Lucius. So who mixes with them? And like you said, he's going to try it. I mean, there's definitely quite a few options. I mean, Crandall, like you heard, like he also said, McGurn, Sabi, you heard him. Many of the options. So it'll be interesting to see you shift that line, you know. And man, that's just stuff. I mean, yeah, it's um sorry, yeah. Like Coach said, they went up. Um, or the NPI. I said RPI. I'm sorry, the NPI index. You look at the NPI, and yeah, ASU went up to 23. They moved up, but you look at that. I mean, they're at 23 at 52.714. Then you have Northeastern at 22, 52.914. Minnesota State 52.917, 53.275 for Harvard. So yeah, I mean, you go all the way up to, like you said, 15, which is a 53.565. So I mean, look, you get a regulation win against North Dakota and a regulation win against or maybe say a regulation and an overtime win. I mean, look, you get the full 6 points against a tough North Dakota, very, very tough. We'll get into that later this week, but probably more hugely on Friday. But that being said, my friends, it is going to be it is going to be very, very, very tough. But I say to you again, the way this team has battled to overcome the gauntlet of the schedule they had and what they've done, like, yeah, that's crazy. Because if you look at, and their strength of schedule rank is 5. I mean, Minnesota has the number 1 strength of schedule rank, and they're 8-14-1 overall. So Minnesota's got 1. Notre Dame has 2. Notre Dame has 2. Omaha, NCHC has 3. Ohio State has 4, and of course we have swept Ohio State, but that makes the better we do, it makes them look better, but they're at a 33. They have 4. And then, like I said, the Devils have the 5th strength of schedule rank. So, yeah. And that looks to stay right in that area between 1 and 5 to me, because who they have left, obviously, in their conference. North Dakota, who's number 3. Minnesota Duluth, they're number 4. Western Michigan, they still have. They're number 5. They played Penn State, who's number 6. Dartmouth, who they won a game from, or they split the series with, they're 8th. What does the star mean? They have a little asterisk by it. It's been adjusted to remove negative effect from defeating weak opponent. I gotta ask Coach about that one next time, because I did not even realize it was on here. But it says, if it has an asterisk, it says team's NPI has been adjusted to remove negative effect from defeating weak opponent. I don't understand how defeating a weak opponent, or defeating an opponent, now you're going to classify them as weak, negative effect, and then a hashtag by their ranking means has been adjusted to remove positive effects from losing to strong opponent. Does ASU have? I don't think ASU has any of that by them. I hope not. No, they do not. Okay, so but ASU again 1-1. Miami is right behind them. They're conference mates. I mean, you look at like I said, the NCHC. Let's see. So you have North Dakota, Minnesota Duluth, Western Michigan, 3, 4, and 5, and then Denver at 10. St. Cloud State at 17. Arizona State at 23. Miami at 24. Colorado College at 35. Omaha at 45. Yeah. So, I mean, whew, yeah. Welcome to the NCHC, kids. It's a hoot. But nonetheless, anyway. Hey, so we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, I promised you we would hear from Coach Miller. Again, it's post-game. It was an awesome post-game after the KU win, but just about what this team has battled through. We'll hear a good amount of it. Plus, there was a guest star of a reporter there. You guys saw it. A lot of you guys may have saw this if you're at the game or if you watched and seeing it. But, yes, we had an awesome star reporter. So, actually, you know what? We're going to skip the break. We're just going to go right into it. Here is head coach Molly Miller, Eloisa Carrera, and a phenomenal young reporter, special guest of the of Women's Hoops all that day and that game. So that was awesome. But yeah, let's go right into Coach Miller post game after Kansas, and now what the team has to do going forward.
Excited about the bounce back. I thought we had, it's tough sometimes on a bye week how to structure practices. We had a really tough one our first day back, and then they got to do some individuals, and then we locked into KU. But I think this team, more than anything, believes that they're going to be ready for the next one, even when you take a knock like we did against TCU. We just weren't ourselves, and we wanted to get back to Sun Devil basketball. So that was really good to see that pressure, because we're used to putting teams on their heels, and TCU put us on our heels. So to flip that script today was nice. First question. Does this mic work? Oh, wait, no, it's not. Sorry.
What's the first question?
So my question is, you had a great game today. Do you think you can make any improvements on your team?
I love that. Someone who's never satisfied. Well, Aaron, I think we can make tons of improvements. I'm proud of the effort, but what I would like to see us do a little bit better job of is consistency. You know, we've got some really good stretches, and then we'll turn the ball over. We'll have a really good possession, and then we won't rebound and block out. So just that consistency, we're working on that in practice, but we want to string more stretches for a longer period of time together. It's a great question.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Coach, and hello, Lisa. It's good to see you once again. It's Aya Abdi for Devils and Details. I have two questions for each of you. For Lisa, you had a career high in points today. What has motivated you heading into today's game? And for Molly, how impressed are you to see the Sun Devils' offense and defense getting a positive spark in the game once again, especially after the blowout on Sunday?
Honestly, my mind was on defense today, making it hard. Like she said, that was our statement today. So being able to defend and go off on offense, it was great for my team and everyone. But our statement was making it hard for them.
Yeah, I'm proud of Elle. She said it. Defense was our mentality first, and yeah, she's only a sophomore, and really, you know, kind of freshman minutes because she scored 22 points her freshman year last year, and now she's a go-to for us. So her ceiling's so high, but what she's done already in this young career, in this young season, in this young program has been phenomenal. So a lot of credit to her for her work ethic. Defensive end, I mean, they have a playbook about this thick. So there's no way we were going to go and memorize every play and every action. So we had to rely on principles. I think that was really good for us to just get back to principles this week. And we did a good job of guarding and making it difficult for them. And that was the theme. Make everything hard or impossible. Every pass, every drive, have resistance. Every block out, hit someone. So really proud of this team. This defense effort is what we need to see moving forward.
And a follow-up from my last question, what have you seen from Deborah Davenport, who has been crucial while filling in for McKenna Brackens, who got into some sort of foul trouble today?
Deb was our spark. And when she brings that every night, we're going to be elevated when she comes in the game. And some of this doesn't show on the box score. I mean, I'm proud of her 9 points, but I'm more proud that she didn't let her man catch on a reversal. She was deflecting the ball. She was hustling and tying it up. She was getting rebounds. So all those things that don't show up in the box score, Deb really emulates, and that's why her teammates root for her, because she goes out there and just leaves it all on the floor.
And Coach, when you talk about, I know you talked about obviously cleaning things up, and you mentioned the turnovers. I mean, they turned the ball over a lot too. But what was the message between the first and second quarter? Because you tied at 13, and then after that, Kansas seemed to get really uncomfortable right away.
Yeah, we just needed to turn it up defensively. Like you said, they had a lot of turnovers. We had way too many that first quarter. It was kind of a moment where we came in, take a breath. You know, I know we're at home, but let's make sure it's a sure thing. And at one point, I'm like, just get a shot up. I don't even care what it looks like. Shoot it before you turn it over mentality. But when we went inside, I think that was helpful to get paint touches, and Elle did a good job. They were doubling her initially, so she did a good job of burying deep and going straight up without any extra wasted dribbles, so they could dig and double. So when we focused on going inside, I think we won points in the paint, which is hard to do against that team. And a big reason is Elle.
Coach, in the fourth quarter, Marley Washington had a sequence where she forced back-to-back turnovers. Can you talk about her defensive impact?
It's huge. She is our heartbeat out there. She really does make us go. And those hustle plays, it's the Sun Devil brand. And she emulates that brand every day in practice. She was under the weather. You probably didn't even know that she was sick. But she doesn't make excuses for herself. And she tries hard, and she tries every play and every possession, and that's valuable to our team.
Continuing on the topic of turnovers, you haven't allowed Kansas to score in the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds in the game, as well as forcing 24 turnovers.
Yeah, we had 19.
However, you only scored 9 points off those turnovers. How are you going to look to capitalize off those turnovers in the next couple games?
You know, I think in that fourth quarter, you want to play the time and possession game. So we might have got a steal and we're running clock a little bit or extending our playbook so we're not getting a quick shot. So some of that is due just to a little bit of strategy and how we want to manage the clock when it's under 5 minutes, under 6 minutes, which I thought the team did a really good job of doing. We got to clean up our turnovers though. I mean, it's a wash. I know we beat them 19-24 turnovers forced, but it's a wash if we can't clean up our turnovers and continue to force teams to turn over the ball.
Coach, you're aptly named for the pressure defense by unit. How do you get your team to buy in and keep that defensive intensity through all 4 quarters?
You know, we don't flip on a switch. It's our normal. Like we do that. We've done it in June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So we've done it every month, every day that we're together. We emphasize pressure defense. So that's just our default setting. And to be able to get on the floor, you've got to, in this system, if 4 people are playing hard and 1 isn't, you stick out like a sore thumb. And no one wants to be that outlier because then you're not playing. So I think they also see the value, and we're not the most talented team that steps on the court every single night. So we have to hang our hat on our defense and steal some possessions.
Coach, within your practices after the tough loss against TCU, what was the biggest emphasis during those practices, and how do you think the team responded to them?
They responded well. We watched a lot of game film, which was necessary. And, it wasn't like this panic moment of we've got to scramble and do something else. We actually watched a film where we left 20 points on the board. It was just, and I was being conservative. These were point blank layups. So we're right there. It should have been a 5-point game at the quarter, kind of tallying all that up, 10-point game in the fourth, and we would be fine. But I hope we washed that big moment. I think it was a little bright for maybe us the first time, the atmosphere playing a ranked opponent like TCU. They're very, very talented. So we had to do more than just out-talent them. And and I'll take that. That's where we went wrong. Our pressure defense didn't show up like it's used to. So it was a good, I think, learning lesson. And now that we can kind of go back and see, and they do a great job of internalizing it just enough to make a difference, but not enough to, hang your hat on it, hang your head and move on to the next one.
Coach, it seemed like in the fourth quarter, anytime Kansas tried to go on a run, there was a stoppage of play, whether it's an offensive foul with a big force or a defensive foul that you guys got, or getting to the line. Is that something that you teach, or the players doing that by themselves?
They've got some instinct. I think especially, you could tell Marley's instinct out there took over. But when teams go on runs, which is inevitable, right? This is basketball. The highs are high, the lows are low, and there's a lot of flow in between. But when teams go on runs, you want to try to get a good defensive stop. So move your feet. We say Mickey, when we're dogging the ball, throw your hands like Mickey Mouse. So that's what we're trying to do to not get in foul trouble, but still stay aggressive. So we have techniques and tips and tricks that we use, so that's helpful in those moments.
Coach, today was Culture's Day. Can you talk about the overall impact of just recruiting overseas?
Yeah, well, I might flip this one to Elle too, because here are a bunch of, imagine leaving your family, and Elle's is here, fortunately, but your country, and you're going to a foreign land, and you're trying to see how you fit in, not only as a team, but in a new place, in a new nation. And I'm just really excited that we grabbed some good ones. You know, I could not say more positive things about Elle, Martina, and last year. They've just been great. And then it kind of opens a little bit of a pipeline because now they can share their experience. You know, they have a positive experience as Sun Devil. All right, go back to your national team and we're recruiting your teammates. What do you think?
I mean, it's true. It's really great to be recruited to come to America to play the highest level of basketball and bring my IQ, Martina's IQ, and Bo's IQ. It really helps the team. We see different things that some people don't see because of the culture of the basketball.
Now, you and Gabby combined for 36 points before any of the other starters scored. What was clicking for you two early on?
I mean, just playing hard, you know, posting up. My teammates saw that I wanted the ball. I wanted to play hard. Even if I was getting double teamed, I was gonna pass the ball and then they're gonna pass me back. So being able to finish, it was amazing.
Coach, better than 3,800 on hand today. Most juice I've seen in this building outside of Territorial Cup games in a long time. I'm talking, I've lived in the Valley a decade. Like, how are you getting the folks to buy in and buy tickets?
I think our players and the brand that they play, it's exciting to watch. It's exciting to play. I know it's exciting to coach. But the brand is really alive and well. When you go out there and play hard, I think fans appreciate that. And I know for me, the byproduct of that brand has always been winning. So it's good to see that that hasn't changed. That transcends levels. And the fact that these fans are willing to just come and get a glimpse, all I want them is to come for the first game and see it. And then I think they're going to be hooked because it's easy to love how they're playing and their why, and to see them fight and be fierce competitors out there. I think it's inspiring.
Your program is part of the reason why 1 in every 5 Division I players in American Out women's basketball is from outside the United States. So kudos to you on that. Follow-up question for you: where do your eyes go when the game is over and the Sun Devils have won when you look at the box score?
Well, first my eyes go to the fans because I really just want to take it in right away. And then I always see how many turnovers we forced. That's like my favorite stat. I just want to make sure that we're doing our job there. And then, you know, I don't go to the points because this is such a team game. And although Gabby and Elle had the majority of the points this game, what's great about this team, it could be Brackens or Marley the next day. And so there's not one singular weapon that the opponent has to scout for. That's the beauty of this. So it's definitely a team game, but my first glance is how many turnovers did we force?
Coach, to follow up on the atmosphere question, the band, you know, felt super lively.
Band's
today.
awesome. I love the band, you guys. Sorry.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, just keep talking about the band, you know, what their impact.
I mean, I saw them practicing the other day and I couldn't contain myself. I had to stop and say, thank you, I love you, you're amazing. I mean, they just level up the atmosphere. And it's so endearing to see them and have that reaction and that eye contact. And they might be blowing their trumpet, but I'm like, good job. And they're like, so I really love just the spirit around this place. It's been awesome, from band to dance to cheer. Our girls went to a send-off for dance for nationals last week, and they made a poster and a sign. So to see that closeness and camaraderie amongst athletes is really special.
Everybody good? Last call?
I have one more question. 2 months away from the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. What have you learned about your team to this point that's going to give you a shot to win the whole darn thing when you get there?
I think they understand the importance of every game. We keep talking about this. All right, if you would have put this Kansas game on February 28th, it might have tournament implications. Just because it's played today doesn't make that any less significant. So they've been really good at, like, every opponent, every game matters. So when you go into the tournament, hopefully you've got a great seed, and then you've played these teams, but you've played them with intent from day one. Whether you're playing them in January, February, or March, it's looked the same for our team. So I think that's gonna help us, and we've been in really close games too. So being able to have kind of that March Madness feel already in January and December, which we have, that's gonna prove to be helpful for this group.
I have one more question for you guys. So, knowing for your identity is turning over the ball and turning them into points this season, what have you seen from getting 1-2, especially now, and how do you look to continue to build onto the momentum? Following up on Cindy's question as well.
Oh gosh, when I think back to Coppin State. I know we turned them over 33 times, but it was something that we weren't that organized in how we played. Now we know when to go on a trap, when to rotate, how to rotate, what our verbiage is for switching and screen coverages. I think you just get more comfortable with the brand, so it's able to shine a little bit better this time of year than game one.
And just real quick, ball security was emphasis for you.
Yes, and always.
I know. Listen, West Virginia turned Kansas over 29 times for a season high. What is going to be your marching orders going into that Mountaineer game?
I'm excited for it. They are tough. Mark does a great job. I coached against him in the WAC when he was at Stephen F. Austin, so I kind of know their brand already. I'm familiar with it. So I'm going to pull out some old, we've handled their pressure well, and we haven't handled their pressure good in the past when I've played them. But it'll be a learning opportunity. That's kind of a game you have to learn as you go. But we're going to try to replicate their pressure and their press and their matchup zone. They kind of throw the kitchen sink at you, so we have to be prepared. At the end of the day, we got to make good decisions. So we're going to do a lot of decision-making drills in practice just to make sure that, we got to make sure those passes are there and play clean.
And Coach, last question. There's an early interaction where Elle got called for a travel, and you've been emphasizing either shoot or pass.
Just shoot it before you turn it over, Elle.
Is that something you're teaching the post in practice and emphasizing on?
Yeah, I think Elle's had fun this week because we're letting her put the ball on the floor a little bit more, which I actually love and I'm comfortable with. So shout out Glove down there. He's been putting her at the elbow. Glove's here, our post coach, putting her at the elbow, letting her rip, absorb contact. So now we got to do that without happy feet. But it's fun to kind of explore with what Elle can do because she is a versatile player. She doesn't just have to be a back to the basket player. So we're getting her in that groove and hopefully we can not travel. How many turnovers did you have? Let's see. Well, you played a lot.
Does she have the green light for three? She missed the three, and then it was the big smile.
I told her to shoot it.
Okay.
I told her to shoot it. I think there was like 5 seconds on the clock. I was winding down. I'm like, shoot it. Shoot it and go chase your rebound.
You guys good? Thanks, gang.
Well, there you go. That is Molly Miller. After the KU win, again, Eloisa Carrera had a hell of a game. Like I said, 22 points. The turnovers, but and she was she was perfect through the first half and a lot of that game, like from the field, from the free throw line. Absolutely awesome. So, yeah, but. Yeah, and again, West Virginia heard the question there. West Virginia turned Kansas over like 29 times. So, you can't. It was 24-19, and ASU forced the 24. They had the 19 turnovers, and that was that. But that's a ton of turnovers, which, again, Coach stressing on. Not that they're aiming to do that, but you cannot have. But again, if you missed Coach Powers, his breaking news here on the show, Colin Potter, yes, out for the season, which rest of the season is a bummer. He will have surgery, Coach said, Thursday. Again, if you go back and you look at the hit, how the hell it was not called a penalty. Look, there could be clean hits that end up in somebody getting hurt or hits that he was pretty much almost down when he got crushed. So we'll go down that wormhole a teeny bit, not a lot. Again, it's in the past. You got to roll with it. It sucks. Forks up to Colin Potter. All he's done on that first line is the way he came on, his speed, everything. I'm sure. In consulting, I'm guessing Coach Powers also met with his NHL team, the Calgary Flames, who I love Coach Powers. Coach Powers, again, is straightforward. But, again, coaches with some things, injuries and stuff, it's going to be that game. But he gives you some of the best. He's like, he's going to make Colin Potter, was the Ohio State series? He's like, I'll just make Calgary look even, extremely smart. Basically, even smarter than they were for drafting him, but he's going to make Calgary look extremely smart. So I'm sure, obviously, they're in tune with everything. But, just that part, man, that's a bummer. That is a bummer, man. Forks up to Colin Potter, though, in hockey. Obviously, women's hoops team. Men's hoops again tomorrow. Let's get back in that win column. Watch Houston. You saw how the women watched TCU. Let's watch Houston. And let's watch Houston and take care of West Virginia tomorrow here at home. They're here at home. They're home in Desert Financial, as you know, in DFA. But that being said, man, that is going to do it for today. Again, tough breaking news. Like I said, hockey-wise, Colin Potter done for the year. As per, again, Chris Price had the injury a little bit after the game, didn't know, but done for the season. And we'll see. Again, Devils, hey, they're going to have to bounce back. We always hear next man up, next player up. They've mixed up lines. We'll see. Well, hey, we'll see what happens this weekend. North Dakota at Mullet Arena, kids. And we're going to talk about getting out to that too. So that's going to do it, though. Again, so stoked you guys jumped in. Forks up to you. Forks up to the new YouTube subscribers as well. Much appreciated. Again, don't be bashful. Keep watch live, guys, but tell your friends, subscribe, man. We'll go in and through Sun Devil country just like that. Didn't get to baseball, but we will get to baseball tomorrow. We'll hear from Coach Bloomquist and some of the players. There's captains. There are captains that the team voted on. And, you'll hear from Coach Bloomquist, but I'm not telling you. You got to come back tomorrow. So just a reminder, again, also at Diablo00 on X, formerly known as Twitter, my IG, Michael.Caratonuto.5. The YouTube channel, like I said, guys, watch live, but do subscribe so you can go back and catch all of the phenomenal con reviews that we have had here, the phenomenally epic con reviews that we have had here on Pitchfork Lunch. So, yes. At YouTube, it's at Evans and Michael V's and Victory Season Champ 005. And go and watch live, but also subscribe. So everybody have a most awesome rest of your Taco Tuesday. Again, make them spicy. You know me, whether you add a little jalapeno, a little green chili sauce, Frank's Red Hot, sriracha, just, again, cilantro, make a little spicy tacos on Taco Tuesday. So I will see you tomorrow. And again, it is #OurState. Thanks to reigning back-to-back Big 12 volleyball champs, women's volleyball, for reminding me that it is #OurState. And yes, school down south, that's for you to always remember. I know you don't have to want to admit it, but it's true. It is #OurState. So thanks for that. And you guys know. Go Devils, as always. And I will see you tomorrow. Like I said, same bad time, same bad channel. And as always, Forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call. Play fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pool touchdown. Quick flag. 3rd down and 5. Levitt switches to Scatterboom. Scatterboom breaks defenders. Here he goes again.
Scatterboom is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Revenge on this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025.
Edwards pulls off and buries it.
Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money. Takes a shot for Darby. Flag out. Doesn't matter.